Hi, my name's Phil Hallman. I'm running for Congress in Utah's 3rd Congressional District. I'm not your same old politician. Because I'm a happily married 27-year-old recent college graduate still paying back my student loans, I have more in common with voters in Utah's 3rd Congressional District than any other candidate in this race. I'm a Libertarian. That means that I stand for smaller government, fewer taxes, and more freedom. First, I stand for smaller government. I want to downsize Washington, D.C. I believe the bigger the government, the bigger the mistakes and failures. If elected, I promise to defend individual liberty, respect the limits of the U.S. Constitution, support more competitive and representative elections, manage immigrations as our country's founders envisioned, and oppose U.S. military adventurism abroad. I oppose unnecessary war because it is the common enemy of peaceful, productive people on all sides of the conflict. I also oppose torture, and I believe that constitutional protection should extend to wherever the American flag stands. Second, I want to decrease taxes. I support the proposition that if 10% is good enough for God, it is good enough for the government. Don't waste your vote on candidates who belong to political parties who promise fiscal restraint but have delivered record government growth and deficit spending. I support self-reliance. I started my first business a week after returning from a church mission and recently started a real estate investment company. Forbes magazine ranked Utah as one of the top 5 states where entrepreneurs can thrive, and I want to fight the federal bureaucracy that keeps the rest of America from being more business-friendly. I'm committed to fighting for private property rights, and I oppose the government using eminent domain for private gain. No government should take from modest homeowners and give to wealthy land developers. I believe in the power of capitalism and free markets to help the poor help themselves. For this reason, the best policy for America is to allow true free trade. That means if capital can freely cross borders, labor must also be free to cross those same borders. I am opposed to economic protectionism. The U.S. should not subsidize certain industries while demanding open trade with other countries. We need to send a signal to the world that America does not have a double standard when it comes to trade. Third, I want to restrain the federal government from intruding on our basic freedoms. I promise to increase individual liberty and decrease federal intrusion into our lives. The federal government should not dictate people's conscience. I believe that each person has the right to live her life in the way that she chooses, so long as she or he respects the equal rights of others. Freedom is not just a grand idea. We have all thought long and hard about the issues that we have carefully arrived at our positions. But please know that I am not fighting simply for ideas. Rather, I am fighting for the people whose lives my ideas may change. I am fighting on behalf of the patients sitting in Utah prison cells today because of medical marijuana was not on the list of those approved by the federal government. I am fighting on behalf of the prisoners of war in Guantanamo Bay who have been categorically denied basic due process and habeas corpus rights ensured by the Constitution of the United States and common to all civilized nations. I am fighting for the immigrants who share tiny apartments with 6 others while working 16 hours a day to put food on their family, not only here, but sending it back to their families in other countries and buying medicine for their families that are starving in other countries. I am fighting for their rights. I am fighting for people who have complained that there are no viable alternatives that exist to the political status quo. This year I want to prove people wrong. Make no mistake about it. I am the only pro-immigrant candidate on the ballot for Congress in today's 3rd Congressional District. I am the most pro-business and fiscal conservative on the ballot for Congress. I am the only candidate who calls for an end to the cruel and increasingly destructive war on drugs that imprisons cancer patients who use medical marijuana. I am also the only candidate who unashamedly calls for equal rights for all Utahns, regardless of their race, creed, color, or religion. This year, people who share these ideas finally have a candidate who represents them. The Libertarian Party is the party of the mainstream, but we are also the party of the disenfranchised, the disillusioned, and the dispossessed. All Utahns can turn to the Libertarian Party to guard their civil rights, their property, and their very lives. Make your choice heard for smaller government, fewer taxes, and more freedom. Please do that by supporting me with your vote. Join my friends at myspace.com/Phil for Congress. I'm Phil Hallman, Libertarian candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives. Please support me with your vote. Thank you.